Hello, my name is Letlhaganelo Khumalo of LK Home DIY on Instagram and Letlhaganelo Khumalo on YouTube, where I create home deco and DIY content. In this video, I'm going to be taking you through a few tips for starting a YouTube channel. Coming in at number one is choosing a topic. Choose a topic that you love, choose a topic that you enjoy, choose a topic that you're interested in, because essentially what that helps you do is target a specific niche of people. And what was seen to actually be more helpful is that a specific target niche for your content actually helps your channel grow much better, because essentially you're not trying to get everyone and anyone, but then you're trying to get specific people, and those people then reach out to people like them and those people. So it becomes this exponential growth of actually trying to get people in. How I chose my topic, which was home decor and DIY, it was always something that I loved doing. I remember I was always that child that would help my dad around the house if there was a pipe that was either leaking or burst in the ceiling because of the geyser. I was there with my dad. When my mom wanted something hung up on the wall, I was there with my dad and asking him if I could drill into the wall this time around. So I was always that child, and I was also quite creative as well, that I always wanted to make my place pretty. So very quickly, I remember asking my parents if I could hang stuff on the wall and drill into the wall and put nails into the wall. Some of those were like epic failures, but sometimes they would actually work out and led me to actually the love of decorating my space. And so when I moved into my own place, that gave me the space and opportunity to do that to my place. So, and I wanted to share that content when I started, that YouTube gave me the platform to be able to share that on a greater scale. So essentially, I mean, in as much as I love makeup, I love fashion, I knew I wasn't as invested in it to create that kind of content. It's not something that I would spend hours talking about, but I mean, if we talk about drill bits and drills and hand saws and miter saws and angled cuts and routers and all these kind of things, that is something that I thoroughly enjoy, that I continuously sort of trying to see what's been done, what are the new things that have been done, and that feeds into your content creation process. And tip number two, tying in very nicely into tip number one, is being authentic. By choosing a topic that you love and enjoy, it'll definitely come through on camera. And it's very hard keeping the idea that you are talking to somebody even though you're looking into a camera. So when you're not authentic, it comes off very quickly. Viewers and the camera picks it up like that, and that essentially, if an audience feels like they've seen this before, or it's been done before, or it feels off, it doesn't maintain that viewership from an audience. So by being authentic and doing something that you love and enjoy, it's actually going to come off and actually help in terms of growing your channel. And social media on its own is a very competitive environment, and it's very hard to sort of stay true to who you are and what you do and how you do it. But it is very important, because I think even in my space as well, is that even when I started, I didn't know a lot, even though there are the home decor DIY content creators in South Africa. I didn't know a lot of those. So for me, I felt like it gave me the perfect opportunity to actually just, from my point of view, start my channel and share that kind of content. And along the way, I actually discovered people, and I was able to actually connect and become friends with some of the people in sort of the industry, quote unquote. But also with being authentic as well, is even though I might do either the same projects or the same kind of content as another person, is that I always say, do it the way that you would do it. So oftentimes is that when you find people succeeding essentially in heavily concentrated industries like makeup, fashion, it's because of those people are creating valuable content that's adding value to someone. Is it making the person laugh? It's making the person smile. Is it teaching someone a certain skill that they might not know of? And always find about what is your unique selling point that you are bringing to the table, which ties in very nicely into content. That they may be two home decor DIY content creators, but what is it that you do that makes you unique, and work on that. Tip number 3, I would say, would be investing in your equipment and your editing tools. When I started my channel, which is something that I still do, I filmed on my cell phone. But the one thing that I was very cognizant of was that I invested in a good cell phone with a good camera because I knew that I wanted to create good quality content. Is that it is not yet at the level that I would like it to be, but I know that this is sort of still the early stages and the place where I can start, that by investing in good quality cameras and other tools, then you are able to actually create good quality content. I remember also when I started filming, I didn't have a tripod, and I would balance my phone on on a vase and hold it with books and scissors, and just come up with all these contraptions, put candles and styrofoam and all these things into things just to make my my phone stand still. And it essentially becomes very difficult to actually to get that specific angle and those things. But I mean, I remember after I got my tripod, that it was such a game changer. I asked myself, like, where has it been all my life? Because I never knew I needed it so much, never mind even wanting it. I never knew that I needed it so much that I'm able to move my phone from the one side of the room to the other without having to worry if ever this and that. And it's just so much more user-friendly and helps me in creating good content. And also, just to touch on your editing tools, definitely do your research and find accessible editing softwares and tools to edit your content as well. And take the time to actually learn how to use it. Try different ways of transitions and how to lay tracks and audio and all these things that I've had to learn along the way. And you'll find that the more time you put in, the more quality content that you produce. And I would say, looking at my first video to my last video, there's definitely been an improvement, because it's something that you do over and over and over and over again. And over time it gets easier. But the good thing that comes from that is that you are producing good quality content. Number 4 would be consistency. Now, this is a big one, because essentially content is king. And if you aren't producing content, you're essentially going to have the same people viewing the same content, and people get bored. So the thing then to remember is that find a schedule that works for you. And I think with a lot of content creators, that when you're starting out, this is not something that you do full time. It's something that you do part time, that you have to fit in your schedule. And depending how busy or not your schedule is, it might be a bit of a challenge or not. I remember when I started my YouTube channel, it was something that I loved doing on the weekends, and always I would have the time. But now that I'm studying as well, it just becomes a little bit of a challenge. But I find that having the time to prioritize as well your time and all the things that you need to do, and actually regarding the content creation process as work, even though sometimes if it's something that you love, then it won't necessarily feel like work. but to actually find the time to fit it in and essentially then help you into growing your channel and hopefully monetizing it if ever it's something that you want to achieve. And the last one, maybe not the last point, but another point is just start. I've encountered so many people that are delaying their start point because they're waiting to get the camera, waiting to get lights, waiting to get all of this. And essentially, you're denying yourself that growth process. So just stop overthinking it and actually just start. Your first few videos are probably going to be some of your worst videos. But I mean, those videos are very necessary because that becomes the benchmark. And when you keep on improving, your benchmark keeps on increasing and you actually are able to do the content. And it's very, very weird and to actually talk into your camera or your phone but realize that someone is going to be talking to you and connecting with you from the other side of the screen, that over time, because of just starting, it gets easier over time. And don't delay yourself. And if you keep on waiting for the right conditions to start, let me tell you, they probably won't come. But definitely I will give credit to that. You will know when you feel like the time is right, but don't unnecessarily deny yourself. Another big tip that I would also like to add is that you have to be very strategic in terms of the way you produce your content and how you post it and the whole content creation experience. So from the ideation of it to the whole part of actually getting feedback and closing the loop. So be very, very, very strategic with it. Is that the good thing is in terms of actually starting, so now you've uploaded your first video, let people know about your channel. Use other social media platforms. Use Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and follow like-minded people. Engage with them, follow them, and talk to people in the comments. And what that helps you, without being spammy and saying, hey, everybody follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. But what that helps you with is that it builds a community of people, like-minded people that are interested in the same things. And then when that community grows, your following also grows. And learn to feed into your other social media platforms. I know when I started my YouTube channel, I had about 6,000 followers on Instagram. And the good thing is that a lot of those followers fed into my YouTube channel. But the nice thing is that a lot of people actually discover me through YouTube, get to follow me on my other platforms as well. So it's a very nice way to use the cross functionality of social media to actually grow your channel. Another tip in terms to touch on being strategic was that I realized that one of the most popular videos was apartment or house tours. And people watch them a lot. And for me specifically, because my content was around my apartment, it was a great way of me to put my foot into the door and actually bring people in. I remember, I think that's still pretty much, for one, it was my first video, but it's one of my most watched videos. I think at the moment it's sitting at about 60,000 views. And find out what is a popular video that you like watching, but people in that specific niche like watching. And also that's where selecting that specific topic comes in. It helps you identify what exactly is popular to actually then bring in very comfortable. Because I think it would have been a very big disconnect if I started my first video with a makeup tutorial but I'm going to be doing home decor as an introductory video. So there's a disconnect there. So find out what is that crowd puller. And sometimes you may not necessarily have one, but just upload some of, if it's an intro video and you doing a short demo of whatever it is, how to grow a garden, how to start a garden if gardening is your thing, or how to bake a specific kind of bread and all those kind of things, definitely do that. But the biggest thing is just starting. So I hope this was super helpful, and this will help you in terms of starting your own YouTube channel. And remember, there's a YouTube channel, there's a YouTube video on basically anything. There's YouTube videos on how to start a YouTube channel. So definitely do your research, choose a topic, remember consistency, be authentic, invest in your equipment and your tools, but also just start. I hope this was really helpful for you. Up until the next time, thank you and goodbye.